What's going on, folks? Out in the field today, doing a little bit, trying to get it together. Today, I want to talk to you guys about the low level spirit, particularly that spirit that houses itself in other humans, the people who are, dysfunctional, the people who clearly sometimes they look disturbed. And I don't want to necessarily pick on how someone looks, but really behind their eyes, or if you look in their eyes, you can clearly see that there's something, going on. There's something, there's an off fire or something. There's a misfire. And you see these people and they're disturbed. A lot of them grew up in homes where they were abused, in any way that comes, any form. They have had the lowest self-esteem. They were picked on as children, and they weren't strong enough to overcome that. And sometimes when you give people adverse conditions, it makes them stronger. These are the people who were too weak to get stronger, if you will. So you have a bunch of low-level spirits. I've also talked about the empty house thing, where people are like houses, right? Empty houses. And when they leave their windows up, sometimes the draft of a low level spirit gets into these people and they just want to do evil. I used to call it the demon flu. It's still a demon flu, right? The DF. You may hear me refer to that from time to time, is what I mean. When I say DF, I mean the demon flu, because these people are clearly possessed by low level spirits, and it manifests in many ways. I mean, you'll see these people do things that are illogical, incomprehensible. I mean, some of these things you just don't even understand these people, and you have to be in a lowly place or a disturbed frame of mind to see these people in action. If you were in a mental institution and you saw someone running down the hall naked throwing feces, right, that would be insane behavior to you, right? But these people do this in different ways, but not necessarily so graphically. But these people behave in ways that are just like that on a social level, where there would be a adversely, mean or callous, or they'll infringe on your personal space, or they violate your personal boundaries with no regard for you. And it's because they're off. They're really off, you know, and you'll get attacks from these people, right? But specifically when you're someone in the workplace who exudes uh effulgence, right? When you're an effulgent person, you radiate, right? You shine goodness, brightness, right? And what that does is your light is so powerful, right? You dazzle so much that they're attracted to that dazzle, and they become so jealous of you. And just for the qualities that you have, you may just be a good natured person who is really grounded, and because they can't find themselves, they just get so bitterly jealous, and they want to just at every turn try to make you look bad, or try to make you fail. If you're, because at a job you all are working together doing tasks together, and it's for the purpose or goal of accomplishing that job so you can go home for the day. But these people, they don't come to work for those reasons. And I've said this many times. You're dealing with narcissists, sociopaths, and everything in between. The low level spirited people, the people with demon flu. Not necessarily, I mean, well, all of them are narcissists. If they're going to engage in this type of behavior, then obviously that's what they are. But the demon flu specifically makes them evil in their pursuits of trying to defeat you. And there's no reason to defeat you, because simply because you shine, and they just are so callously jealous of that shine. So you'll get these disturbed people, and they'll come up to you, and I've said this in many videos, in the ways that you want to watch how they behave. They'll come up to you. They will always start a conversation off with, if they greet you at all, they'll walk up to you, and they will always start a conversation off asking what you're doing for the day, even though these people have nothing to do with you, in your workstations or wherever you're working at. They have nothing to do with your job. They're probably doing the exact same job you're doing, but they will come up to you and they will always ask in some form of what you have to do. Are you busy today? Blah, 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 blah. Then they may throw in something, some caveat about what they have to do later on in the day or something, or, they may do that. But really, they're just trying to figure out what you're doing so they can go to someone and say, he doesn't do anything. All right. You may find a situation where, you'll be somewhere else and you may see someone who knows someone who works at your job, and they may say something like, and here's another indicator of this callous low level jealousy, where this person is a complete stranger, but they will introduce themselves as someone who knows someone you work with. And they'll say, yeah, so and so always says you work really hard, but you know, and some people say you don't do anything, but they don't know or something. They would try to throw something in like that, and you would have to look at them like, you would be like, I don't know you or that person. Why would anyone speak my name and then say I don't do any work or something? See, I'm trying to show you how, maybe you have a type of job where you have freedom or something. I don't know. And they will be so severely jealous. But see, you have to understand, these people are low grade people. If you gave them the opportunity to have any type of independence, they would ruin it, because they don't have the right type of mind. They're not really built to do work. A lot of these people are those people you see at your jobs who come to work and they gossip and they just run their mouth and they just blah, 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 and they get in people's business and they just do all these things. But these low level people have a mean spirit. They have that DF going on, and they'll come up to you and, they'll interrupt you. They'll be rude. They'll do something, like I told you before starting out, they will do something extremely callously low to you, disregard to your feelings or whatever. And then if you put them in their place, or if you just address that moment, right? You could be on your phone talking or something. They could literally walk up in the middle. You could be talking to your children. They could be in a hospital. It could be any emergency going on in your life. And they'll walk up to you and they'll just start having a conversation about nothing, right? And if you tell them, hey, give me a minute, I'm on the phone, they'll get upset by that because they want your attention right now. Even though they don't talk to you, even though they haven't probably said a word to you in maybe a year or something. You know these people at your job, folks. You don't talk to everyone, right? I'm sure you don't. But they'll get upset and they'll go and tell someone, you were rude to them. You didn't want to, because you didn't want to address their concerns right away. Now, here's the interesting thing. You may give them that opportunity to speak, and you may stop what you're doing, right? Interrupt your urgent phone call or your urgent business or whatever you're doing. You may stop that and say, and give them a moment to tell you what they need from you. And guess what? There will be nothing they have to say. It would be so trivial, it wouldn't even be worth saying. So they would feel silly and they would just storm off, right? And then maybe later on that will become an issue in a situation, because like I said, these people play for keeps. They will try to make it seem as if everything they do, projection tactics, and everything that they are, they will say you are. If you're minding your business, they will say that you're in other people's business. They will say that you're rude or this or that, right? Higher ups may say that you're not approachable, but there's no reason for them to approach you. The only time these people may approach you is when they're trying to ask you something about your personal business or your life or your children, or something that you don't care to discuss that's not really their business. All the while, these people have no intentions of sharing anything about their lives with you, right? I told you about that guy that came up to me at the little thing I was at and walked up to me and said, who am I and what is my title and this and that, because he felt a certain way. Just because of him being a lowlife and having a demon flu, he felt it was okay to approach another grown man, don't know me from a can of paint, right? Walk up to me and just say what he wants because he's feeling bad about himself, right? He's in a low place right now. He wants to lash out and hurt me simply because he perceives that I don't have to do something, or I'm in a place where I may have some money in my pocket or whatever he's thinking about me, and he doesn't know anything about me. And that's the whole irony of these events that take you into a situation that makes it worse on your job, where you realize that you are a target and you must get out of this atmosphere as soon as you can. Now, in these environments, if it comes to a serious administrative situation, someone may suggest you heading on or moving to another department. I want you guys to understand how this works. HR is really, the job, they're only there to serve the company, okay? In the best interest of however way that works out. And so, yeah, if you may think about entertaining going to another department, but you'll have to start over. And everything that you've built up in this particular department of narcissists and assholes and bullshitters, you'll have to reset those things, and you could be fired really quickly. You could be on a probationary period where maybe after 3 weeks they feel, we just don't need you, and then you're out of a job. So you have to really weigh these things if it's worth you doing that. All of them are narcissists, and that's the point. In some environments, the entire job is infested with narcissists and sociopaths and people who are just low spirited with the demon flu, because the middle people, they're the ones who are being used for this type of campaign against you, right? And you'll notice that really quickly, that everyone seems to be against you. You'll have people who speak to you one day and then they will literally flip out, and the next day they don't know you. I mean, you'll have all of these bipolar scenarios of people who are really mentally dysfunctionally disturbed. And if you're the only sane person there, you will quickly realize that, right? And so you cannot flourish in an environment full of people who have severe psychological problems. There was a time I can remember one guy I was talking to, because I talk to people a lot about these job situations. I do my research, and there was a guy telling me that someone had, I think, taken a crap on the floor in the locker room. Now, keep in mind, folks, these are grown, full-fledged grown adults. These are people who have children. These are people who could be your boss, or your siblings or something. And I want you guys to really think about how crazy this world is of people in these workplaces. But some grown adult, well over 40 or something, for whatever reason, doesn't matter if it was an accident or not, whatever. But this person took a crap in the floor, in the bathroom, at this person's job. Okay? And no one was disturbed by it. No one, they just dilly-dee, people just stepping over it and shit. And you had a situation where they got like a janitor or someone to come in there and try to clean up, and the janitor just used some old rinky-dink bucket or something of water. He didn't even get the proper sanitation stuff or bleach or something. He just got, just a typical old dirty bucket of water and just mopped it up or something. Didn't care, didn't think anything of it. And the guy was creeped out because he was literally out there spraying his shoes off or something. He said he wasn't going to wear his shoes in his house, and he was going to take them off, not put them on in the car, because they were work shoes, right? He was going to just throw them and get another pair. Now, if you step in a pile of crap in your locker room at work, you don't know what's in that crap. You don't know if that person is sick or to what type of bacteria or disease. Obviously, it's bacteria, but you don't know what can be spread, E. coli, any of these things, folks. So these people are so insane. And it's not really about, maybe the person had an accident, but what I'm saying is no one was disturbed by this moment. He said that's what made him realize that he had to get out of this environment. So he's right now looking for another job. And I wish him luck. But what I'm saying is, folks, is that if you're going through this type of thing, you have to be aware of people who have the demon flu, and they're just evil. If you're not doing something they want you to do, they're like children. Just think about when you were 6 years old and that little girl or that little boy that you just wanted to sock out. They just always had something going, always was trying to get people against each other and stir it up. And he said, she said stuff and all of that. These people grow up and they permeate your workspaces, right? And they're only looking to create disturbances and cause as much problem as they can, because the devil is a mischievous fool. And these people are possessed by demons, obviously. So they just literally, you can see the evil in them. It's dripping off of them. Some of these people will stalk you. I've heard of the lunchroom situations where women would tell me about the guys who would, maybe their bosses would send them on lunch break or something, and then just stand around and watch them the whole lunch break while they're eating and stuff. And that's insane behavior. Whether you realize it or not, you stalking your subordinates is crazy. But we shouldn't have to, normal folks should not have to live in the world and deal with these type of conditions, right? Because of their effulgence, or because of how they present themselves, because they have a good positive attitude, or they look well, or whatever is going on, that the low lifes really loathe, because they want to be that. They're so internally jealous of these things, and they would try to harm you at any cost. So once you realize that you are in such an environment, you need to be prepared for the exit plan, which is what I always mainly want to stress in any of these videos. Because what is the point of standing in a job that's going to give you a heart attack, or have you fired, or you lose some type of benefits, or someone said you did this or that to them? You don't need to be doing that, folks. As soon as you realize you're a target, go and run for the hills. And now, yeah, it may be hard to find another job to replace that job, but remember, if you drop dead, it doesn't matter anyway, right? Is it worth that? Is it worth your life? I love bad behavior, folks. I love people who shine greatly, who have the effulgence, and we all want to admire those things about these people. I love these people with these qualities, because they're the people who are going to change the world at large. They're the people who, if they're your boss, you're going to have a good day, and they're going to stick up for you. They're not going to throw you under the bus. They're the people who just make, keep hope alive, so to speak. Those are the people who help you see a brighter day, because they're so bright. All right. So I want you guys to like the videos and share them. Someone gave me a comment on another video, and they said they made this statement about, fortunately, we have to work with these people. Well, first of all, it's not really a fortunate situation, because no one's fortunate to work with narcissists and sociopaths who will harm them, right? It's unfortunate that we work with these people, but we don't have to. And that's where you're losing power, when you realize the power is in your hands. You don't have to let these things dictate your life. All right. So that's for that person who believes that, it's a great fortune to work with crazy people, and it's not. All right. So you guys have a great day. And let me get down this road. But you have a great day, and we'll talk soon. Take care, folks.